My name is Eric and I'm putting this video together to show some of my friends how I first started learning bass and one really good finger exercise to use, whether you're just starting out or if you've been playing for a long time. It builds dexterity and it teaches you to use your fingers, all of them, on your fretting hand. And basically the rule that I was taught at my first bass lesson was one finger per fret. And what that means is for each fret on the fretboard in whatever position you're playing, you want to cover those with one finger at a time. So if you're starting up at the first fret, it's one finger per fret. So I'm on the low B string of my 5-string bass and I'm fretting a C and then a C sharp, then a D, and then an E flat. And wherever you are on the fretboard, just remember that rule. So one finger per fret. Wherever you're at, because when you're playing bass, you're going to need all of your fingers and you're going to need dexterity. The next thing I learned was this great finger exercise, and basically what you do is you are fretting notes up and down each string and back down again, going all the way up to the neck. So you're starting out with the C. So it's just real simple. I'm using my index finger and my middle finger, and I'm just doing a walk across the neck and then back down again. Then you want to jump up to the next fret. Then go to the next fret. Notice that I'm keeping my thumb in the middle of the back of the neck. I'm not gripping it like a baseball bat. I'm putting my thumb back there, and that way my hand can float around if it needs to. A couple things to remember. Technique is way more important than speed. Speed will come in time as you improve your technique. Also, you want to fret the strings strong enough to make the note, not enough to bend them. You don't want any buzzes in there like that. That's bad. But fret it strong enough so that you get a nice clear note. And it really helps to do this with a metronome. That will train you to play along with the drummer, and it helps you build consistency as you do this exercise. So that's really just the start of that. Now, where do we go from there? So basically, as you're playing those notes, you go up, you start with the first fret, so you're using the first 2 frets and you're going up each string, back down, then up to the next fret, on and on, all the way up to the 12th fret. And the great thing about this exercise is it works great whether you have a 4-string bass, a 5-string bass, a 6-string bass. It gets harder though because you're playing on more strings, or even a regular guitar, 6 or 7-string guitar. You can do this exercise on both those instruments. It is great for both. But that was just the index finger and the middle finger. So we're going to be doing this exercise in pairs. So you take once you go up to the 12th fret with your index finger and your middle finger, you need to switch to your middle finger and your ring finger, and you're basically doing the same thing all over again, starting down at the bottom. All the way up to the 12th fret. Once you've finished your middle and ring finger, then move on to your ring finger and pinky finger and do the same thing. Again, if you're doing this with a metronome, you want to start out really slow at first, because if you haven't practiced using your pinky finger, your ring finger, then it's going to be a little bit difficult. Now, once you've finished those 3 pairs of fingers and you get up to the 12th fret, you probably got a really good burn going on in your forearm. That's good. Tells you that you're working those muscles. Next, you want to use your index finger and your ring finger. I had to be careful there, not making any bad signs. So you start with your index finger and then your ring finger. Notice that I'm up. another fret, I'm jumping up a whole step instead of a half step. So remember, 1 finger per fret. I'm using the 3rd finger, so I'm jumping up to that 3rd fret. Again, you can play this exercise a little bit hard now because I'm seated and I'm going to hold the bass like this so that you can see it. But standing up works very well, seated works very well, and you can do this whether you're playing with your fingers or a pick. We get the idea. After you finish with your index finger and your ring finger, then move on to your middle finger and your pinky finger. Not perfect, but again, it's the way I'm holding it. All right, now after you get through with those, remember you're going all the way up to the 12th fret. Then you want to use your index finger and your pinky finger. Again, do that all the way up until your index finger, that's the finger that you started with, ends up on that 12th fret. So by this time, you'll either be mad at me or you'll be glad that I taught you this exercise. Just kidding, you should probably have a really good burn in your forearm right now. But if you do this frequently, it'll help make all of your fingers strong. And then when you're playing, especially, it helps me in bass if I need to hammer on a note with my pinky finger. I can do that pretty easily because I've practiced and I built that dexterity and that strength. Thanks.